Time for another episode of Flashback. Tracks from the past.
On the 13th of September 2020, in the year of COVID-19, I returned to the radio business after being off the air since 2006. And 1 year later, the station is still on and still rocking the boat. In this episode, I'll share the challenges of giving retro music a new home. An unknown artist with RT Woman. What possesses a person to create a radio station when everyone already has podcasts, Spotify and YouTube? Radio has been a passion for me for ages, and I have been into community broadcasting in Sweden for many years, so I knew the craft. I previously told you that the stations connected to the All Fallout gaming universe, and being bored while working from home sparked the flame. It was the YouTube station Old World Radio that put the idea in my head. I wanted my own YouTube channel to make weekly shows about all Amiga music. This was the creation of a station. Barry Leitch, Utopia Tune 1. This is the intro for the game Utopia, an old Amiga game where you create a nation on a foreign planet and wage war against the insects that own it. So back to the station. I made a few test shows that aired on Facebook and YouTube. A few friends listened and they were very supportive. The huge problem was that I needed software to play Amiga tunes. I settled for VLC, but it was cumbersome. So I needed software to generate a playlist and act as a cart wall for sound effects. Googling on the matter gave me a link to Play It software and the program Play It Live. It worked, but I soon realized the software was meant for radio broadcasters, and I was hooked. This was now a radio project, not a mere show. Org, All Night Alone. But to get the station to run, I just needed a web page, software, hardware, a lot of music, scripting, knowledge of the demo scene, and a lot of support. I had none. I started nearly at zero. I had some equipment, but had to set it all up piece by piece. There was no return. This had to happen. One afternoon I was sitting on the local train station in Enköping, setting up the homepage while waiting for the train. I had a portable access point and extra power banks to keep me connected to the internet. Hours became days, and days weeks as I used all the spare time to get all things ready. Rosarix, Chickapop. I really don't invent the names, but they're funny. It was decided that the station would start on the 14th of September, and I had just received the voiceovers. They were made by talented voice actress Nicole Carino. I cheated a bit and started the station 11 p.m. Swedish time on Sunday the 13th. So it was time, and I had a lot of technical stuff that didn't work, and the sweat was running as I tried to get everything started. This is what you heard on midnight. So this is what it has come to. A new station in a world where everyone is broadcasting and no one is listening. Actually, no. I believe this has all the possibility in the world to get its own shared amount of listeners. Yes, that was 1 year ago. I noted that everything came online as predicted, except the listeners. Citrix and Lemon Funk. So the first painful lesson was that listeners on a music station with mostly music expect, well, mostly music. As soon as I spoke more than 40 seconds, they disconnected swiftly. I quickly learned to keep my speeches short and sweet. I had expected to voice track, or as we say, pre-record the upcoming week every Sunday on the afternoon. It would take 3 to 4 hours. I thought so at least. Now that I know, it actually takes 45 minutes to voice track one whole workday. So it was a dumb calculation, and I had to rethink the whole thing. But I did record weekly station updates on YouTube, and yes, of course I voice tracked as well. Emissary and Alaska. The music, yeah, it took enormous time to process and to add to the station, but it all became much easier when I automated the process and wrote a program to fix tracked music into MP3 files for the station. This was easy now, but time-consuming. The technical challenges were much harder. I have never filed so many bug reports in my life. Every week I bombarded Streamlabs, Play It Software and other companies with problems. I found a hefty number of obscure ones that I needed to explain with a flowchart, but hey, it was interesting.
1, 2, 3.
If only I had one more chance to change my life today, then I would never let you Now I stand here alone in the dark, without you. There's nothing more that I would like to be with you. I close my eyes, but I can't stop thinking of you. And now I stand here alone in the dark, without you. Now I stand here alone in the dark, without you. There's nothing more that I would like to be with you. I close my eyes, but I can't stop thinking of you. And now I stand here alone in the dark, without you. Now I stand here alone in the dark, without you. There's nothing more that I would like to be with you. I close my eyes, but I can't stop thinking of you. And now I stand here alone in the dark, without you.
Trigger and Alone, the dual vocal remix. It's not the one we already have on the station. It's well, for this station at least, new one. Discord is like an old internet relay chat, and I thought it would have lots of retro nerds hanging around. I was right. As soon as I created a server there, people came on board, and the station now had a discussion forum where they could request songs and suggest ideas. I always had to do stuff myself, but now I could get some help. The community came up with ideas and sometimes even helped me creating artwork or reviewing improvements to the station. I added more station IDs and ended up commissioning Nicole no less than 6 times to get her to give the station its voice. It was actually one of our Discord users that suggested I start a podcast. And Amiga Flashback was started in December 2020. It's still running. In the spring, the station was slowly changing. It started as an Amiga-only radio station, but more and more PC-made music was added, and I decided to switch to allowing all kinds of tracked music. In May, the station changed to become the last true tracked music broadcaster, instead of the last Amiga music broadcaster. This also made it possible for me to really push the format, and it made the station very, very uniform. It was all good. Falcon of SKP and Lazy Days. The podcast also covered some ground. I didn't really intend to cover demo parties, but did a special episode of Amiga Flashback for Revision 2021. And it became a thing. The podcast is now called Flashback, Tracks from the Past. And I have covered Revision, Shadow Party, Fondata, Edison, Gubbdata, A-Rock, Jurmalauta and Flash Party. I also made a few showcases of artists, such as Dr. Awesome, Victor Vergara, Techman, and Alistair Brimble. The podcast is still small with few listeners, but the demo scene has been mostly supportive of it. And I also made other episodes about computer pirates, copy protections, BBSs, gaming villains of the past, and the IT world of the 80s. Fear of Dark, Influenza. In July, I started building a complex system to create a database with artists, songs, and information. This was then made available to all listeners and is slowly being improved. When it's done, it will feature rating stars, a request a song feature, and information about all artists. It's quite a challenge, but made possible through a lot of integrations with Play It Live. KBX 128 of Calypso, Blue Carrier. Finally, the station IDs were replaced with brand new ones created by British radio DJ and producer Jono Woodward. They were tested in August but were fully rolled out a few days before the 1-year anniversary. I made a live show on Monday the 13th, so I was live when the exact hour of the anniversary occurred. LDS, or Leon Do Star, Full Circle. So finally, I must say, I learned so much from this. I made 2 live broadcasts. They were made on location at Edison Party 2021. I also voice-tracked a DJ presence during a lot of the spring and summer times of 2021. Some stuff was badly thought out, like my messages that ran 2 times per hour with the same cheesy Amiga-style jokes and later sarcastic life advice. They will not be missed by anyone. But the station is now entering its 2nd year and is ready to give you the best Amiga, PC and Atari tracked music. Stay tuned and stay online. The artist is unknown, but the song is called A Cyberspace Odyssey. This is the Arcade Radio Network and Flashback, Tracks from the Past. Here's me, DJ Daemon, saying bye-bye and leaving the studio. Some more music coming on here. And remember that this podcast has a lot of cool stuff coming up in the following weeks. We will have more interviews, some demo party coverage, and also the stories from a retro past. Going on with Serious and Artificial. This is the end, my friend. See you in a week with a new episode of Flashback, Tracks from the Past. Leading you into the good night is Trigger. Yeah, he's back again. This time, new song, Emotion Devotion.
The Arcade Radio Network keeps track of the past.